If you've used ChatGPT before, you can build an AI agent. And that's because you already have somewhat of a framework, an idea, to get you started. Most people think that this requires coding, a PhD in computer science, or at the very least 5 empty energy drink cans lying on your desk. However, that's not the case. If you use ChatGPT, you can already do this. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you how to build your very first AI agent from scratch in 3 simple steps. And we will be using the n8n platform for this. Now, here is why this is important. Right now, you're probably just using AI. You're typing prompts, you're getting answers, maybe even automating a task or two. But once you build an AI agent, you stop being just a consumer and you become a creator. And that is the difference between renting someone else's car or building your own custom Tesla in your garage or whatever car you might prefer. By the end of this video, you'll have an agent that actually works for you. Now, let's get started. Every AI agent needs a brain. And don't worry, we're not talking about dissecting frogs here. The brain is made up of 2 parts. There's a chat model, like ChatGPT, OpenAI, and memory, so it doesn't forget what you told it 5 seconds ago. Without this, your AI agent is basically a goldfish with brain fog. It's cute, but it's not very useful. So, in practical terms, let's see what this looks like in n8n. So over here, I have this workflow right here. I have my n8n installation, and I'm just going to add an AI agent. So if I go here to the left, first of all, I need to add a trigger. So we'll do that. And then if I hit the plus button, I'm going to go to AI, and I'm going to go to AI agent. And once I do, we see this agent node, AI agent node that pops up. And here, as you can see, there are a few things that we can or we need to configure. There's the chat model, there's the memory, and there are the tools. So if I click on the plus here under chat memory, we get a bunch of chat options, chat brains that we can give it essentially. There's AWS, Cohere, DeepSeek, Google Gemini, and if you keep scrolling down here in the penultimate, as the penultimate option, there's OpenAI chat model. If I click on that, I get taken to this screen. So over here, I have my credential to connect with, and if it's your first time connecting, you just need to create a new credential and then go to platform.openai.com/playground, where you can then go to your API keys, and then you can then set a new API key right here. You create a new secret key, and then you can insert it when you create a new credential right here. So under API keys, you can just set that up. In my case, I've already set it up, so I don't need to do that again. Then we have the models. So this is the brain of the operation. So here for OpenAI, we have all these different models available, as you can see. Some will get eliminated or removed over time. My favorite one at the moment, which I've been using for quite a few months, is this GPT 4.1, because it's an intelligent model at a good price. So it's not super expensive, and it gives you the intelligence that you generally need. So this is the brain of the operation. Then comes the next part, because your agent needs a memory, right? So the chat model is what gives it the brain. But then there is the memory. So just to illustrate what I mean here, if I type in hi, as you can see the agent is working, and it used its brain to give me an answer. And it said, how can I assist you today? If I say, my name is Kevin. So, hi Kevin, how can I assist you today? If I say, what is my name? As you can see, it says, I don't have access to personal information about users unless you share it with me during our conversation. So, as we said, the brain of a goldfish. Because, in fact, I did just share my name right here. However, this happens when the agent doesn't have memory. So, if we want to give it the ability to have that memory, we click on the memory plus icon here. And there are for beginners and then other types of memories as well. As a beginner for this video, the focus I'm going to be using, or the memory I'm going to be using, is this simple memory. So I click on that. We have a few simple options. First of all, there's the session ID. In our case, we're going to leave it to the connected chat trigger node, which is what we were just seeing in the bottom left of our screen, right? So if we look here, this is the connected chat memory right here. In addition to that, if we open this up again, this is fixed, so we can't change it unless we change this to define below. So in our case, we don't really need to do that. And here we have the context windows length, how many past interactions the model receives as context. So the higher that number, the more memory this will have, right? So now if I save this and restart the session and I say, my name is Kevin, and here it's saying, how can I assist you today? And I say, what is my name? As you see, it says, your name is Kevin, how can I help you further? So now that memory is enabled. And that means that this AI agent has a brain and it has memory as well. So we can have a conversation with it. Which leads us to our next point, because the AI agent needs to then have tools. These tools give it the ability to connect to things like Sheets, to Slack, to Notion. And this is where the real power comes, right? Without tools, your AI just talks. With tools, it does things. It updates these spreadsheets, it sends Slack messages, it manages notes, whatever you want it to do. And here's the key. Most people stop here. They connect a model, they add a tool, and they call it a day. And then they wonder why their AI agent is just a glorified chatbot. So we'll get to that in a second. Before we do, let's dive a bit deeper into tools. So here, if I click on the plus button, as you can see, there's a big list of potential tools that we can connect to our AI agent. There's also additional tools if the tool you want to connect it isn't within these other tools. So if it's not, Airtable, or it's not Airtop, or it's not Asana, or it's not a calculator tool, which is very handy when it comes to doing mathematical operations. If it's not within these tools, there is the ability to make an HTTP request. So using this HTTP request tool, you can literally call out any API that is publicly available on the internet. So if I click on that, I get the usual ways to make an HTTP request. So there's the methods, get, post, put, some of the most common ones. There's the URL that we're going to be connected to, authentication. We can send query parameters, we can send headers, we can send stuff in the body. And that's essentially the basis of any HTTP request. We make the request and we get a response back to the agent. So this is one possible tool. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of different tools that you can connect to your agent. There's vector stores right here. So Postgres, Supabase, Zap. There's quite a lot of different tools that you can connect. So this is when you give that agent the ability to now do things beyond just having a chat with you. So this is almost like a ChatGPT conversation. This, with tools, is where it starts to become more powerful. Now, let's go back to what we were saying before, because this last step is where the magic happens, teaching your agent when and how to use each tool. And we do this with something called a system prompt. And think of this like the brainstem, right? The thing that tells the brain how to control the body. And again, no medical degree is required. And this is the one step that separates a cute demo from an AI assistant that actually saves you hours every single week. If we look at if we double click into the AI agent right here, we see a few additional things. So there's the connected chat trigger as the source for the prompt. So this is similar to the memory option that we had. In this case, I'm going to leave this to the connected chat trigger because we want the message coming in to be the one that the user would enter, like what is my name right here. However, the magic happens when you go to add option and you go to system message. And to be fair, I don't know why this is hidden away rather than being featured like this, but this is where you set the system message. So by default, you get you're a helpful assistant. And this is where you can go ahead and make it your own, right? So let's say you are a helpful assistant that comes up with a quick poem about the user's name. When the user gives you their name, come up with 4 short lines of a poem featuring their name. If they don't provide a name, ask them for it and don't generate a poem before they do. Let's also say after you generate a poem, ask them what they think, right? So this is where we're defining exactly what we want the system, what we want the bot, the AI agent to do. So let's try that. We will remove this because we're not making any outbound tool calls. And let's restart the session here. And here I say, hi, let's see what we get. What's your name? I'd love to create a short poem just for you. And just like that, as you can see, it has the information to know how to act. So now if I say Kevin, Kevin shines a heart with a heart so bright, a beacon in the darkest night, with strength and kindness, pure and true, the world is better just with you. Nice. Not bad. I think you could do better. Make it about traveling. So again, it has context to the previous conversation as well, right? So it's using that plus the new message right here. And here it says, Kevin wanders far and wide with open arms and eyes so wide. Each new place a soul spun, adventures under every sun. Nice. Awesome. If you'd like another poem or anything else, just let me know. Yeah. So as you can see, this is using the brain, it's using the memory, and it's using the system message as well. If we wanted to send this as an email, we can connect a Gmail tool, for example, right here. This is where you can start building on top of each other, right? With like the next level. I'm going to choose this, let the model define this parameter. Yep, I'm going to choose let the model as well define the parameter for a subject, and same for message. And what I'm going to do here is essentially I've connected this to my Gmail already, and I want the agent to have the power to use the Gmail tool in order to send a message to the user or to send an email to the user with their poem. So here I'm going to update the system prompt, and I say if they like the poem, ask them if they want you to send it to them via email. If they say yes, ask them for their email. And when they give you this, use the Gmail tool to send the poem to their email. Yeah. So let's try this. I'm going to go here, I'm going to save, and I'm going to start a new chat right here. I'm going to say, hello, what's your name? I'd love to write a short poem for you. Let's say my name is Jane. Jane, a name so bright and fair, with a spirit light as air. In every heart you leave a trace, a gentle smile, a warm embrace. Nah, no worries. Would you like me to try writing another poem, or is there something else you'd like? Try again, but make it about coffee. So again, it now should be, yeah, Jane and coffee. Jane sips her coffee dark and deep, a morning ritual she loves to keep. With every cup her worries cease, and coffee's warm she finds her peace. Nice. Love it. I'm glad you like it. Would you like me to send the poem to your email? Yep. Please provide your email address. Awesome. So I'm going to give my email address here, and let's see what happens. And here, let's also look at this. I don't know if you noticed, but this sort of went through here, went through here, went through here, and here, and then back. And here in the logs, we can also see the flow. So it uses simple memory, it used OpenAI, it sent an email, it used the brain, and then updated the memory. And here it said the email was sent to your inbox. So let me just open that up. And over here, we just got that. Your coffee-themed poem. Jane sips her coffee, dark and deep, da da da. So you get the poem here. We can remove this attribution here as well, if we wanted to, but the poem is right there, directly sent to Jane's email in that case. If we wanted to remove the attribution, we can double-click into the send message in Gmail. And here under options, we can turn off append n8n attribution. Just like that, this will not send an email attribution when that email goes out. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of building an AI agent. I would encourage you to try it because that's the best way to learn. Think about these 3 steps that we discussed. So creating a workflow in n8n. And then step 1, adding the brain of the operation, adding the memory as well as step 1. Step 2 is about adding tools. And then step 3 is about defining that system message and sort of constantly building on top of it to get the AI agent to do what you want. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to get your thoughts on it. In the meantime, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Cheers.